Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the deception of unhealed people and when relationships become resources. Today's relationship is not what it was many years ago and what our grandparents experienced. And somewhere along the lines, the principles and the core values have changed. There's a difference between loving someone and using someone. Some unhealed people enter relationships not because they are prepared to build a healthy partnership, but because they are searching for someone to provide what they have not learned to create for themselves: housing, financial stability, transportation, emotional security, social status, connections, or simply a comfortable place to land. The deception becomes deeper when that person wants the freedom to entertain multiple people while demanding complete loyalty, submission, and sacrifice from everyone attached to them. They want options for themselves, exclusivity from you. They want you to submit while they remain undisciplined. They want you to provide stability while they create instability. They want access to your resources while keeping their intentions hidden. And sometimes what appears to be a strong relationship is actually a survival strategy disguised as love. When love becomes a transaction, a healthy relationship involves reciprocity. Both people contribute something meaningful to the partnership. Not necessarily the same amount of money or the same responsibilities, but there is mutual effort, honesty, consideration, and accountability. There are so many unhealthy people who are shapeshifters, who, when I say the level of energy that they bring because they're so charismatic into the groups that they associate in, and then you just have to sit and watch and study. And sometimes this can take years because when you meet people, they lie about who they are. It takes time for their mask to slip. An unhealthy person may approach relationships differently. Instead of asking, what can we build together, they quietly ask, what can this person provide for me? One person may provide the home, another person provides money, someone else provides transportation, another provides emotional support, another provides professional connection or opportunities, and another becomes the person they call whenever everything falls apart. Meanwhile, each person may be receiving a different version of the same promise. You are the one. I am building with you. I'm going through something right now. Once I get myself together, things will be different. Nobody understands me like you do. Those words can be compassionate. People emotionally invested long after the person's actions have revealed something completely different. Wanting submission without accountability. There is something deeply contradicting about demanding submission from another person while refusing to practice self discipline. You cannot demand loyalty while practicing deception. You cannot demand peace while bringing chaos. You cannot demand trust while hiding people's conversation, money, or intentions. And you cannot expect someone to continuously sacrifice for your future while refusing to work towards that yourself. Submission without truth can be exploitation. A healthy partnership should never require someone to become smaller so another person can avoid becoming responsible. Using relationships to accomplish what you won't work for. There are people who genuinely fall on difficult times and need help, and there is nothing shameful about receiving support from someone who loves you. The problem is intentional dependency combined with deception. If someone repeatedly searches for partners who can provide the lifestyle they desire while refusing opportunities to become independent, the relationship can become less about companionship and more about acquisition. A home becomes something to gain access to. A successful partner becomes financial security. A vehicle becomes transportation. And someone's credit becomes opportunity. Someone's emotional strength becomes therapy. Someone's hard work becomes a shortcut. And eventually the person is no longer building relationship. They are building a network of resources through people. And when one person disappears, they immediately begin searching for another one. The emotional cost, the greatest damage isn't always financial. Imagine discovering what you were providing someone with: peace, loyalty, encouragement, money, housing, emotional support, and they were presenting themselves as available somewhere else. You believe you were building a future and they were building options. That realization can make a person question their judgment, attractiveness, generosity, and even their ability to recognize love. But another person's deception does not determine your value. Their willingness to manipulate generosity reveals something about their character, not the worth of the person who loves sincerely. Multiple relationships require honesty. There is always an important distinction about who we are and what we came here to do, and how we choose to go into a particular union. It's funny because I often find out that many people will establish what we think are core values for a relationship, but they will tend to change things as they go along. So we need a distinction that deserves to be made in clarity. Dating or loving multiple people is not automatically deceptive. Consensual non-monogamy or polyamorous relationships exist, and adults can freely choose those arrangements. But there are individuals out here who want to do whatever they want to do, and they change the rules to the relationships. And as I always say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The issue is deception. If everyone knows the truth and willingly agrees to the relationship structure, there is informed consent. But when someone secretly maintains multiple relationships while telling each person they are exclusive, that is not an alternate relationship structure. That is dishonesty. And when deception is combined with obtaining housing, money, vehicles, emotional labor, and other resources, the consequences can become even more damaging. Eventually, patterns reveal themselves. A person can maintain different stories for different people for only so long. Eventually, timelines stop matching. Messages surface. Financial behavior becomes noticeable. Promises contradict one another, and people begin asking questions. And the carefully separated pieces of someone's life start connecting. That is why truth does not always require revenge. Sometimes truth simply requires time. What someone repeatedly does in the darkness eventually becomes a pattern, and the patterns are difficult to have forever. Choose yourself. Choose yourself. Always choose yourself. Choose yourself. There are so many people who are trying to force people in a push or pull of choosing them and what they have to do and how they have to do it. Compassion is beautiful, but compassion needs boundaries. Before continuously rescuing someone, ask yourself, are they building beside me, or am I carrying them? Are their actions matching their promises? Will this relationship still exist if I stop providing resources? Am I receiving honesty, security, and effort? Or am I constantly being asked to understand another excuse? Love should inspire growth, not provide someone with a permanent hiding place from responsibility. You can support someone without financing their avoidance. You can love someone without becoming responsible for their entire life. And you can have compassion while still recognizing when generosity is being exploited. And the scale eventually balances. Money can be replaced. Cars can be replaced. Houses can be rebuilt. Built character is something that these people will never be able to establish or develop, because their core values are built on lies and deception. But character follows you everywhere. You may deceive one person, you may deceive several. You may temporarily build comfort from other people's sacrifices, but a life constructed through manipulation requires continuous manipulation to maintain it. Real abundance is different. It is built through integrity, discipline, work, accountability, relationships, where people freely choose one another because the truth has given them the opportunity to make that choice. You cannot demand loyalty while secretly collecting options. You cannot demand submission while refusing accountability. And you cannot continuously build your life from the sacrifices of others and call it love. And sometimes the greatest spiritual lesson is simply what you build through truth and can sustain you. What you build through deception eventually requires the truth to collect its debt. There are so many people who will smile in your face, lie to you in your face, lay in your bed, and do this over and over and over. And the split. So in my coaching sessions, where I work with women and men who are experiencing narcissist abuse, we often discuss the split. The split is not a benefit. So deceptive individuals have the capability to split their personalities, and they never ever really truly are able to do what an empath does, which is the integration, which is the duality, which is coming into wholeness with oneself. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be sharing more content. You can like and subscribe. I want you to be aware of people's intentions. This is a real cruel world, and people have their intentions, and you have monitoring spirits. And if you're an empath, many people are definitely looking at you, and they can see the light. They can see how the light reflects on other people and how other people attract and gravitate to that energy. And so they definitely want that energy for themselves, especially the warlocks, especially the narcissists. I just want to remind you guys to stay rooted in your word. Most of the Bible discusses these in examples, and as you live through life and experience life, you will be able to decode the Bible. You will be able to resonate with these stories and these examples when you encounter these type of demonic entities, spirits, personalities, vessels, and this level of deception. So I'm sending you guys peace and love.